Truly a children's classic. And number 59 on the list, My Neighbor Totoro. Welcome to Long Play Video. Okay, here we are back in the shop for number 59 on the list of my top 100 films, and a very special film and a very special guest today.
Yes.
Not seen since Christmas.
Yeah.
It's me again.
Welcome, Poppy, back to the shop. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I brought
Good.
Totoro with me today.
He looks incredible.
You got a
Not
very
as-
chubby tummy.
He has, has he? Has he had a big breakfast?
So that's a spoiler for the movie, which is at number 59, My Neighbor Totoro.
Does it want to do that?
No.
Yes.
that's
Oh,
Yeah. Do it. You know, the entire podcast is for you, Poppy. So you do what you want. So this is why we're doing the hundreds. So you know, you can do whatever you fancy. I love your pink headphones as well.
thanks. I haven't used them in a year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I take my noise cancelling headphones on. Well, technically they're daddy's. So I take daddy's noise cancelling headphones on holiday. So I only really wear these for my iPad.
Wow. So it sounds like we need to just get you on the podcast more so that you can wear them more often. What do you reckon?
Yes.
I've got a lot of animated movies on my top 100, so get ready. You're going to be
Season
special guests
2
for those.
will be just Poppy.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave just for you two.
we'll upgrade. Yeah.
Cool.
So what a film.
So, yeah, My Neighbor Totoro. Have you, let me pass you over the video case. Have you seen
let's
it
have a look at
before?
this.
Do you know anything about it?
I have not seen it before, and I don't know much about it. And wow, this looks good. This definitely looks like my kind of film. But I feel like when it's on your list, my kind of films somehow get let down and then don't become my kind of film somehow. Yeah, this was awesome. I'd never heard of it, and then I obviously I think you spoke about it before. That's the only time I've actually heard of it. Is it actually a Walt Disney film?
No,
See,
it's
this
not.
isn't-
So it's
Oh,
Studio
it's just
Ghibli, which is a Japanese animation house, which is sort of very big, and it's the premium kind of Japanese animation studio. And then Disney have actually sort of got the distribution rights in the West eventually. I think only in like the last 10 years or so. And this is actually from 1988, so it's
wow.
quite old.
Okay. Wow, really? Super. I
Yeah.
didn't expect it to be that old. Yeah, I mean the front cover looks very appealing to me. It looks fun. There's just a scene of everyone sitting on a tree over a lake or a river. They're trying to fish, and there's lots of different characters, and it's bending quite significantly because I guess this is Totoro, who's got a bit of weight behind him and bending the branch a little bit with another little character on top of his head, and then a couple of humans and another random character to the side. I mean, I presume they all look the same, these characters, so I presume they must be some kind of species. So that looks interesting. And you've got two little humans, which I guess must find them, or maybe they just stumbled into them. They happen to be their neighbors somehow. So yeah, it looks fun. It kind of looks a bit like, what's the one with the toad in? What's that one? That old film, the animated film, Toad of Toad Hall.
Oh, okay.
What's that one? I can't remember what that is.
Wind in the Willows.
Wind in the Willows. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of that.
that.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of that, but brighter colours, I would say. So yeah, so Poppy, you've seen this before?
Yes.
Yeah, and
So-
are you a big fan?
Yes. I don't remember it very well though.
Oh, Poppy, you're a girl after my own heart. I'm the same. Why remember films when you can forget them and then rewatch them, right?
That's why
Yeah.
I like watching movies 2 or 3 times. I think I've watched
Exactly.
Encanto about 10 times now.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that yet. Is it worth watching?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get on it. I'll add it to my list. Yeah, this looks great. So you guys have watched it together, I'm guessing, then quite a few times?
Yeah, so this is I was really excited about Poppy watching the Studio Ghibli movies as she grew up because I really like them and I think they're really good and they're children's movies. So when you were born, and I mean not like right when you were born, but like when you were a child. I was thinking, oh, you know, this is going to be really
will
good.
go in the kids, Andy, and they will say, "We know what you're like."
Basically, in the delivery room.
In the delivery room.
Basically, as soon as I turned 1, you started making me watch Ghibli films.
Yeah, My Neighbor Totoro, especially because it's very nice visually. So you were watching it when you were very young, and you just were fascinated by the movement. And, you know, you didn't really know the storyline, but you just really liked how it looked. And then do you remember there's one scene in particular where they're scared? And do you remember what we used to sort of say about that? Because we used to use that when you got scared. Do you remember?
Isn't it like it's only a dream or something? I don't remember. Or like it's not real. I don't know. Don't remember it.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, it used to be that when you were scared, we'd laugh. And so anytime you got scared, we'd say, well, we should just laugh. And then you won't be scared.
Then
and
that would always make me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And you used to laugh and then you wouldn't be scared anymore. Up until maybe you were like 5 or 6. And then you were like, well, no, I'm scared, Daddy. I don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
So
maybe you guys should have tried that while Boris Johnson was Prime Minister. That might have been a bit more enjoyable at that point. I'm just reading the back of this DVD cover, and this looks like this has been written by you, Andy. It says, critically acclaimed as one of the most delightful and charming family movies ever. My Neighbor Totoro is a stunning animated treat full of magical adventure. Well, there you go. That definitely, to me, sounds like you've written that. It's selling it in super hard before you even hear about the story, which is great.
I agree.
It's funny though, because there's still, I mean, My Neighbor Totoro in Studio Ghibli, it's now like West End show and it travels all around the world, like a live action version of it. And it is hugely popular. I mean, it was, the box office at the time wasn't huge, but it's since gone on to be on DVDs and like it is a major cultural touchstone. But then it's also a little bit unknown by some people as well.
I want to see a West End show because somebody dressed as Totoro would be hilarious.
Yeah. Would you go and watch that?
Yeah. If it was in England.
Yeah.
It did come over.
What about if it was in Australia? Would you come over to Australia and watch in Australia? Visit me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
A long way to go just for a show. We'll probably stay for dinner as well.
Yeah. You're welcome to have dinner as well. We're trying to convince your dad to do a trip to Australia, Bobby. Do you reckon you guys would enjoy that?
Yes.
We need to play more chess again, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like about going to Australia?
It'll be hot.
Yes, it will be.
Anything else?
Kangaroos?
Kangaroos?
Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. I live next to one.
Really?
Well, close enough.
So I thought we'd change it up a bit, that there may be spoilers in the first half.
Yeah,
but
no dramas.
What do you remember, Poppy, about Totoro? What do you remember the story, or because we haven't watched it for a couple of years now?
I don't remember anything, to be honest, except for Totoro.
Okay.
I don't actually remember. I remember them riding in the cat bus, though.
Yeah.
So I remember the cat bus.
What is Totoro? Is he like his own species, or what? Well, does he talk?
I think he's his own species, but my friend, because she came to my house and she asked me what Totoro was, and she calls him a bunny.
Okay, so he's like a different type of bunny,
like a magical bunny species.
Oh, I like that. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the Totoro. I think Totoro is
a magical bunny called Totoro species.
Yeah, come on, Andy. We've seen this. Yeah.
This is the Twitter spat on My Neighbor Totoro. Is it a bunny or not?
Poppy takes on Twitter. Yeah. Oh,
You don't need
definitely do not worry about that. Yeah,
because it will be long gone by the time that you're old enough to use it. So you don't remember the cat bus? Do you remember anything else?
I kind of remember the two girls.
Right.
Yeah. And so is he their neighbor? Is that how it works out?
Okay. Well, I'm not sure, but it says on the back that
Yeah.
Just read the DVD.
They move house.
Yeah.
And they discover that their new neighbor is Totoro, a mysterious forest spirit.
Ooh,
there we
that
go.
Sounds good. So now we know. Mysterious forest. They've missed the word rabbit out there, though. Or bunny? Should we add that in?
Yeah.
Mysterious forest bunny
Bunnies
spirit.
live in the forest sometimes.
True. It's true. It's facts.
Like penguins.
It's not Watership Down.
What penguins? So there's a rainforest somewhere that has penguins in it.
Oh yeah, I think there's one in Australia. You guys should come and visit that. We'll add that to your list.
Okay.
Right, cool. Bang. Nice. I'm building this little tour for you. This will be nice.
Yeah.
And so what else does it say about this mysterious forest spirit then? Anything else?
Only children can see him. Yeah. He can only be seen through the eyes of a child.
Right. That
Which
makes
means
sense.
you guys can't see him, but I can.
Well, probably be fine.
Yeah. Do you not think we're children? Are we too adult now?
I think Daddy's too adult. I don't know about you because I don't know how old you are.
Yeah, but I look a lot younger than your dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Bombshell. Oh dear. Well, this sounds really good. So yeah, so then Andy, why is it on your list then? Is it because you remember having those magical experiences of watching it with Poppy when she was young?
Yes, and also I just love this film.
No, and also no.
So I found out about Studio Ghibli probably around the early 2000s, around sort of Spirited Away when that came out.
Yeah.
And sort of, blew up at the Oscars and stuff like that. And then just went back and watched a lot of the old Studio Ghibli movies, as well as the longer ones that have come out. I really like the animation. And then My Neighbor Totoro is probably, out of all of them, it is the most probably like childlike wonder type film.
Yeah.
And it's funny that it does say delightful, because that's just such a great word for it. Like there's no cynicism in it. It's I was listening to something on it, and they sort of said that it's very Japanese in structure and the way that it works, rather than kind of Disney, frankly. You know, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, in the second half, so we won't have any spoilers there. But it's just really completely non-cynical. It's very sort of simple. It's very childlike, just in sort of the story, and that does make it like magical. And it's just a really, really nice watch. It's a great world to go in. I love the animation. I love like the background animation. They are in the forest, and it is very natural looking. Yeah. And so
it looks sort of to me like old school drawing, but I don't know. For me, I wouldn't have said this is anime, but is this anime or not? Doesn't look like it.
I don't know what the definition of anime is.
But I feel like when I see films that are anime, when I look at the characters, they look different to this. This just looks more like a old drawn film, I would say. So
1988, right?
Yeah,
so
it's I didn't realize it was this old. Yeah. And then I can see there's the big cat. I presume this is the big cat boss that Bobby was talking about on the back of the DVD. That looks very much like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, but like about 12 times the size.
Well, that's it. And there were some iconic scenes from this and characters from this. Yeah, and that's definitely one of them. And they said there'd been a couple of the studio had put out a couple of films before this, but then in the same year they brought out My Neighbor Totoro and then Grave of the Fireflies, and the two films can't be more different, to be honest with you.
Really?
Grave of the Fireflies is about a sort of a brother and sister who were in Tokyo during the firebombing of it during the war, and it's very grown up and very harrowing.
Yeah,
and
very full on.
This is the exact
Maybe
opposite.
that was the thing. Yeah. They were like, we need to build a double header. If you're going to watch this other film, we need to bring out some just magic happiness to go alongside that film.
Yeah.
So
I think it did play as a double feature, to be honest.
No way, really?
Yeah.
I hope this was second.
Yeah, you've called it there, I think. So
if this was first, and you'd be like, you've been so happy, and then the other film just pulls you to the depth of despairs.
Yeah, I only just watched Grave of the Fireflies in the last few years, but I remember I was looking after my nephews once when they were quite young, and I'd sort of put it on because one of them was ill. So I was like, oh, well, we can watch this Studio Ghibli movie. And then like literally within a minute, I was like, you know what? Let's watch something else. And then I watched it again and I was like, wow, that would have been a disaster if we would have continued watching that.
Yeah, wow. You could have set them up on a completely different journey there. They might have been big Lord of the Rings fans after that. That might, who knows what could have happened. So
they've never watched another movie. Oh no, they haven't watched any movies anyway.
Well, look, let's not start calling them out every podcast. I mean, we don't want to start talking about the website again. They'll start getting their own little special feature. We'll have their own little category. What would Freddie and Woody say?
Though, it's going to be really interesting with this because I think you're going to love this. I think then like you can go through all of the Studio Ghibli sort of back catalogue. And then, Hiro Miyazaki, who's the director and sort of main person, he brought out what he said is that his last film this year.
Yeah.
But he's said that a couple of times. And then he won the Oscar for the best animated film. So like, there's literally sort of 38 years of movies.
Wow, of movies. That's pretty good. Yeah, I must say, this does look like, you're right. This does definitely look like a film that I would enjoy. I can't doubt that. And then I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was like, wow, I can then go through the entire back catalogue and watch all the other ones. So,
I would say that maybe leave Spirited Away off of that. Because
for no reason whatsoever. Let's just completely
Spoilers.
random.
Yeah, but that does feature in the list higher up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll save that one.
We'll see. What you don't like
Spirited
Away?
Are you going to watch it soon, Poppy? When are you guys going to sit down and watch it? In a couple of days?
Where? Maybe on Sunday, because I don't think I have anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, it does sound like you've got a busy day today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let Poppy consult her diary.
Yeah.
and she'll see when she can pencil it in.
Yeah, I think I'm free on Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm definitely not free on Saturday.
Okay. Busy.
So I've got
play dates.
So I've got a play date, then a club, then another play date.
Oh, wow. That is going to be a busy day. You might be too tired on Sunday to watch it. What do you reckon?
How are you too tired to watch a film? You literally just sit on the sofa. You're only using your eye muscles.
Wait until you get old. You'll find out why. You'll find out how that's possible.
I don't know. Are you going
to take notes like your dad then, Poppy?
So the last time I took notes on a film was at Ratatouille, and it literally said, weird, scary, very weird. That was my overall score.
Wow.
No, I like weird. But it was
how many rats out of 5 would you give it?
5?
5 rats. Wow. That's big. Well, we're gonna when we come back for the second half.
5 rats out of 10 rats. 5 rats out of 10 rats.
Okay, 5 out of 10. Okay, nice.
What's that as a percentage? We always have to get maths homework into everything if we can.
Yeah, good shout.
50%, 0.5, a half, 2 quarters, 3/6, 9/18. Loads of other stuff like that I'm not going to name.
Awesome. Good shout.
64 and 128.
Showing off now. I like that. It's good. I'm a big fan of maths, so this is good. I'm enjoying all of this. We'll do a little spin-off podcast, me and you, Poppy.
Maths with Kevin and Bobby.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
maths.
I'm
Maths.
busy for that one, actually.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah. Is there anything that you're specifically looking forward to on rewatching this, then, Andy?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Poppy thinks now because it has been a few years. You've kind of come off of Studio Ghibli. There was I think between when you were like 4 and maybe 6, then we watched a few of them a lot. This one,
Yeah.
Kiki's Delivery Service, Ponyo, and then you've gone off them a little bit. We watched Spirited Away, and maybe that was a bit scary, and so you
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
really like that.
Especially because her mum and dad get turned into pigs.
Oh, spoilers! Spoilers for a film
God.
in like
Good
a
at
year's time.
Yeah. And who likes pigs? No one.
They're a bit greedy, aren't they? Both the parents and the pigs.
Yeah.
Do you think that your dad should do a list of the best Gimli Studio movies and put them in an order for me to watch?
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Well, I look forward to receiving that, Andy. Let me know
Yeah, exactly.
when it's done.
Yeah, we can put them all. We can order them. That'll be fine.
And then we could also do the top 100 Bluey episodes.
Oh, well, now you're talking my language. Who doesn't love Bluey? Who's your favourite character on Bluey? Peppa Pig?
I've never watched Peppa Pig.
Oh, you're missing out.
Not allowed to watch
It's
that.
not very good. Yeah.
Who's your favourite Bluey character?
Is it Bluey?
Bingo.
Bingo. Good
I like
choice.
Muffin.
Yeah, Muffin's
It's so naughty.
I also like socks.
Yeah.
But also,
How
why
good is
would you?
Bluey?
What?
How good is Bluey? Good, isn't it?
Yes. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were you going to say?
Why would you call your child socks?
Being, you can call your kids whatever you want. So you get, what would you call your
know.
kids?
Depends if I had a boy or a girl.
What
A
if you had
boy
one
would
boy,
be
one girl?
A boy would be called Bob,
Nice. Yeah.
and the girl would be called Bobina.
Bobina. And are they both reference to your uncle Robert?
Uh,
Is that an homage to him? Because Bob is a shortened version of Robert.
really?
Yeah.
How? Bob isn't even in the name of
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah, I
one
know.
B.
It's a valid point. You take it up with the English language. But yeah. Well, I think your Uncle Rob's going to be very happy with this episode that you've just called out that your 2 kids are going to be named after him. He's going to be very happy.
Or maybe I'll call the girl
Robina?
Toto.
Toto. Nice.
After
Like
Totoro.
it. Oh, well, there you go. Well, on that bombshell, well, I
Yeah.
mean, we go anywhere from there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll put it on. You can get some gelato, you can get some sweets, because that's what you get in the shop.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to explain now. And we'll put on Totoro and we'll watch it, and we'll see you after the jump.
Yeah.
See me? Wait, see me after the jump.
Yeah, we'll see you after the jump.
We'll see the listeners after the jump. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, well, as Kevin, Poppy go and prepare themselves for donuts and gelatos and all sorts of treats, we'll probably save the Lucky Charms for another time. What will Kev think of this film? I mean, it is a kids' film. It is an out-and-out kids' film. But honestly, I think you're a little bit dead inside if you don't just appreciate it as a film. So I think he's probably expecting a little bit more of a grown-up film after maybe Kubo and the Two Strings. But yeah, My Neighbor Totoro is just such a great film, just so simple and childlike and magical because of that. I think he's going to like it. I think Poppy's going to like it and remember that she likes it. And yeah, as with all kids, she'll probably end up watching it like 7 times as soon as we leave the shop. So yeah, we'll see you after the jump and see.
I think whimsical or like cute. That was kind of how I sort of thought of it. It's a very nice, just nice, lovely film, isn't it? It's just sort of passes by. It was, yeah, I didn't expect the story at all, so I'm sure we'll cover that. That was a bit different to what I anticipated. But yeah, just nice little story.
I feel like
What
we've
did you
had
think,
whimsical
Bobby?
before.
Oh, have we? Would
Mhm.
that have been the only thing I can think of? Would be, was it like Never Ending Story or something? I don't know.
Don't know. BMX
Definitely wasn't
Bandits.
whimsical for once. Well, that wasn't whimsical. Yeah, maybe BMX Bandits there, but maybe it's something about the 80s. It just reminds me of happier times.
What
What
did
about
you
you,
think,
Poppy?
Bobby?
You couldn't
Yeah.
remember it, and you were looking forward to watching it, right?
I liked it. Yep.
Yeah. What did you like?
The animation.
Yeah, it was good. What did you think of the story? Did you like the story?
Uh-huh.
Who was your favorite character out of all the ones that you saw?
Bang.
Yeah, because beforehand you were saying it was Totoro, so that's good. It's changed. And how many times did you end up watching it?
3 times.
Wow,
And
that's
they only
good. So
made
you
notes
are,
once.
well, I'm sure you're going to have plenty of notes and lots of memories if you've watched it 3 times.
What was your
What about
favorite
you,
bit of
Andy?
the story?
Uh, not sure.
Which part
All of
did you
it.
like the most? When they're moving in, or when Maze first meets Totoro, or when she's missing and they're trying to find her, or she's at school?
Uh,
If you could only watch a little bit of it, because Dad is being mean and not letting you watch it all, which bit would you choose to watch?
I would just watch the bit where they're just coming out of the van and Mrs. wait up.
So just when they arrive at the
Wait up.
house.
Yeah.
With all the
Did you
dust
think there was a
gremlins.
lot of?
So,
Oh yeah, the dust gremlins were good.
soot gremlins.
Soot gremlins.
Soot
Sorry,
gremlins.
my mistake.
Yeah,
Soot
get your
spirits.
notes out, Andy.
Yeah, no, I think I still really liked it. It is definitely a kids movie,
Mm,
but I think it's a
confirmed.
good kids movie because it's character driven. Like there isn't actually something that kind of happens. There's no like, I don't know.
Yeah.
In most kid movies, it's that there's a circumstance almost that happens, and like how do they deal with that? Whereas this is much more just about the characters and the sisters, and it's not from one particular viewpoint. It's just like them living their lives, and I think that's why I really like it. It's just it is simple, but it is really the animation's really good, and I just really like the way that it kind of flows from one into the other.
Yeah, you're right, isn't it? There's no real sort of specific story, and it's funny you should say that because you're right. I think, because a lot of kids things you can just meander along. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to all make sense, and it doesn't have to be like we need to get to this finishing point. It can just be like a story, and a story that doesn't really mean much. It's just a fun journey, and I definitely think it feels like that. It's just, nothing really happens, but it doesn't feel unpleasant. It's not like I'm like, oh, I've been robbed of a film here. I should have, something hasn't happened. But yeah, that was cool. I did notice there was a lot of shouting that seemed to go on in the 80s. I was like, did we, just because we didn't have phones, we used to shout a lot more?
They're out in
Did
the
you find
forest.
that, Poppy?
Yep.
May was shouting a lot, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Have you adopted that now? Have you started doing that at home?
Yep.
Well, they do get the sort of kids exploring and discovering new things. I think the pathways in the forest and the woods was really good, because I remember even in sort of the back garden you would find like a pathway behind the bushes once you went in to get the football, and then sort of think about it as a sort of secret fortress, or like a hidden den and stuff. And I did think that was really good when they're finding Totoro.
Yeah, that was so good, wasn't it? It's all those little things you forget as a kid. It's like I remember like when they're in the house and they've got their shoes on, rather than take their shoes off, they're just walking on their knees. And I was like, I remember that when you used to randomly just walk on your knees at that point. You just do different stuff, don't you? Do you do that, Poppy? Is that one of your things you do rather than have to take your shoes off?
Yeah. Like when we're leaving the house and Mummy says, "Okay, can you go and get the water bottle? And I just put my shoes on. I'll go on my hands and knees and just crawl with my feet up, and then get it, and then come back, like rolling it in front of me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, there you are. Perfect. It was like nailed on. Then, did you get that idea from this film?
No.
You just come up with it. Genius.
I think the way that they show nature and all of the different animals, the tadpoles, the fact that the acorns are shining and stuff. Do you think it's just really nicely drawn for all of the natural world stuff?
Yeah, it kind of felt almost like a it was almost like it was a sort of an environmental movie. It's almost like it was like way ahead of its time before, we've had all these other people, these famous people try and pull together all these movies about the environment. Whereas this was like almost more from that other side of, we need to remember these are great things that we have access to, like trees, like I said, frogs, tadpoles, animals, everything, and just appreciate them. So it was like more of we should be appreciating these. And maybe if we had learned a bit more at that point, we wouldn't be in the same position we're in now. But yeah, I was surprised by that, about how they got that through. I was like, wow, that's a really good message to have come through in the film, but from the 80s.
And is something that sort of goes through a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies, is sort of like this natural world versus industrial world and stuff like that. And I do think is almost more of a Japanese. I think they were much more aware of it, obviously, after the war, and and frankly, kind of the atomic bombs and stuff like that. I think their sort of perspective on industry versus sort of the natural world and being outside of the cities is a bit different to the West.
Yeah, that would make sense. You're right. I guess from those, after you've experienced those things, it would probably change your view on things, doesn't it? Yeah. Was there anything that you didn't like at all, Poppy?
No.
No, and nothing was scary.
No. I was surprised because I was watching it and it was like, is there going to be a scary bit soon? And then it just ended. And I was like,
no. Yeah.
Perfect. There is no scary bits in this. Every other bit, there's usually a bit of a scary bit, isn't there?
Every other movie I know, except for Totoro, Ponyo, and Kiki's Delivery Service. So far.
Yeah. You weren't scared when May was missing?
No.
Fairly sure they were going to find her.
Yeah, like they wouldn't just end a movie with her lost unless there was a second movie. Or she went to like an encampment and started partying with these random people.
Sounds like a very interesting story.
I thought that she would be with Totoro. I was surprised that she was just hanging out with a few statues.
He was just sleeping.
Yeah, he just sleeps.
Yeah. He loves to sleep, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I was like,
he really sleeps a lot.
I mean, I guess when you're, when you let out those huge like howls or those growls or, shouts, whatever you want to call them, probably takes a lot of energy out of you. And
there's little wooden things when they go.
Oh, yes, the little musical instruments. Yeah, they were good. It was definitely is this, in terms of the other animation films that you've seen, Poppy, is this one of your favorites?
Yes.
Yeah. And what else is sort of up there in any more Studio Ghibli films?
Yes.
Ghibli films?
Ponyo.
Yeah.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Nice.
Have I actually watched any other studio?
Was Spirited Away.
I didn't like Spirited Away because Daddy was just going to watch it by himself. But then I came in and I was like, "What you watching?" And he said, "Spirited Away." I said, "Can I watch it?" And he was like, "Okay, but it might be a little scary." End of the movie. That was terrible.
There you go. Wow. So that one was a bit scary then.
When we get to Spirited Away, which might be about a year away, then we'll see whether you want to watch it.
Yeah, that will be good.
Be a bit older.
Was there anything that you remembered watching this time, Andy, versus previous versions?
I think the way that they combine the nature with sort of the shrines
and stuff. I think there was a lot more of that than I remember. So yeah, they are trying to kind of make that connection between, I guess, kind of older religion and like the ways of life in sort of olden days, with them kind of moving out. It is funny because obviously thinking about sort of what dates the film, and it's you could almost sort of ask the question like, when is it set? And because it could be now. I mean, obviously you don't have the technology and stuff, but then it's also like, but they're moving out to the village, and how much is that sort of the same now as it would have ever been?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really have anything for that, like in terms of whether it aged badly or well, because other than like you said, I guess you'd have slightly better tools for animation, so the animation might look a bit sharper. But then I guess it's still that sort of anime style, isn't it? So it's almost like I don't feel like it would have ventured too far away from where it is. So it was definitely an interesting film. I didn't expect it at all. I didn't really know what to expect, but it just shows you, doesn't it? Like you said, that when you're a kid, you can just watch stuff and it just meanders along, and it's just great. You don't worry about stuff. There's so much more that you're taking from the film, like the visuals, the colors, the sounds, that you don't just need the story. Like us adults, we just fill us with a story from start to finish, and that's all we want. Well, plus some explosions, and then we're good.
I think that's why it maybe differs from other children's films made by other companies. But like, there's always a tension, and then the kids and the adults always kind of against each other in some ways. I also really like in this, just all the times that they're talking about spirits or ghosts and stuff, the dad just kind of believes them. And it's like, oh that's possible, and like is accepting about it. Whereas usually, if it was maybe sort of a Western story, then it would be like, oh, there's this spirit, and then the parent, or it wouldn't even be a parent because the parents would be inexplicably dead. It would be like an aunt that they're staying with. Then it would be like, who's really mean, exactly? Probably. Yeah, it would be like, oh no, I don't believe you. You're lying, and then you kind of have that conflict. Whereas I think it's really just nice and a really good way to do it, where actually, the father's there and believes them, and is just as into like sort of believing from their point of view as anything else. And I think that's just really nice, and think sort of makes the storyline almost more childish, but like in a good way rather than not.
And then, like as you said, like in the first half, when they talk about if you feel scared, then you just laugh, and that's like another thing of like the parent. Like I did think there was lots of interesting parenting going on in this film, actually. Like he obviously gets involved, like you said, with the children, of saying, there are the spirits available, and he gets into their stories and works with them on the imagination part of it. He also just lets them like hang out in the middle of the forest at night. They're just randomly walking through like the darkness with an umbrella, soaking wet. They're just walking around aimlessly trying to get to the hospital. And they're like, that's what happened to the 80s. You could just walk around and do stuff.
It's very Gen X.
Cared. You mentioned now, like now you'd have to have, God, I don't know what, you'd have someone with you, you'd have some show my iPhone or wherever it is, find my phone on.
Some GPS tracker for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's simpler time, obviously. Nicer time.
Lovely 80s. How did you describe it to the aliens? Did you come up with anything on this, Poppy? Wow, what did you have?
Sasuke and Mei are sisters who meet Totoro and go on adventures after they move house.
That's a great little description.
Sure how this.
It's within 30 words.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Nice. Yeah, it's very good. Very good description. You're like your dad. You're very keen on getting these aliens on side.
What did you have, Kev?
Right. I had a family moves into a house and use aliens to grow trees. I thought
uses aliens to grow trees.
Well, yeah, I guess spirits maybe. But I'm trying to get on the good side of the aliens. I don't want to be the person that gets taken out of this podcast. I feel like we both need to be. Your dad's definitely going to get survived by the aliens. I need to be on this side as well.
About me.
Yep, you'll make it as well for sure. After your description, they'll definitely take you on board. You'll be flying one of the UFOs. Where will you go?
I'd probably just stay on Earth.
Good decision.
What about you, Andy? What did you do? Anything good to share with them?
No, I had nature is full of spirits and mystery, and two sisters discover them. I went more for a tagline on the DVD box than a full description.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Was there any questions that you guys thought that the film asked or answers? Anything that you thought about, Poppy?
What's wrong with the mum?
Yeah,
that's a good question. What is wrong, Mum? Yeah, you never find that out, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I just heard, when do we stop living in wonder of the natural world?
Yeah, that's happened. That's gone now. We're firmly in industrial world now until we get to the apocalypse. So there's only one way left. Yeah.
How about
I
you?
was thinking, how do we make cat buses? Because they seem great and like really efficient. So I could do with one of them.
But
imagine how quickly you could get to school.
I found that the rats that are like bit on for the lights kind of creepy.
Oh, really?
They've got like glowing red eyes and they bit into the cat's bum. And
yeah, they were cool. I saw them. I was like, oh, that's a little good. You have the rat's eyes for. You did like that bit. What did you think of the cat? Did you like the cat bus?
He's a lot of legs and he smells like.
Yeah.
Big, I mean, basically Uber, surely. It turns up and takes you wherever you want to go. Imagine if you could just put in your friend's name into Uber and it took you to Uber. That'd be good.
This is where they are. Yeah, that was handy, wasn't it? Joshua was like, oh, I'll just wake up here and then, oh yeah, hold on a minute, let me just, hey, bus, go and take them exactly to where she is.
Yeah, I want to go to May. I mean, obviously now there'd be data protection issues with that, and anyone who knew the location. Does the cat bus know May's location all the time? Is it only when she's using the app? It's a whole.
The cat bus is magic.
Okay. Oh, so magic makes it okay.
But that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's okay with magic, right? Even data privacy. Yeah, it's fine.
What's data privacy?
It's not something you need to worry about just yet.
Yeah, don't we worry about that. Did you have any good lines, Poppy, that you liked from the film?
I was worried that you wouldn't want to come home because the house was haunted. What a stupid bucket! And quit laughing.
Yeah, the bucket.
It's funny
was
when
good,
she says,
it?
"What a stupid bucket!"
Because it's got a hole in it.
Yeah, that's funny. But it is actually a stupid bucket. Because it's got a hole.
It is, that's true. And then she uses it as like a binoculars, doesn't she?
And then she spots the little Totoro.
She does, yeah. And then
it's funny that he doesn't realize that he's completely invisible.
Yeah. I like that bit.
That was
invisible.
Yeah, but he's not.
Yeah, that was good. Did you have any good lines, Andy?
I think it's funny when they're saying, "Oh, the house is haunted," and the dad says, "Oh, I've always wanted to live in a haunted house." That's obviously like helpful. And also when they say, "I think this house is too old and it's going to fall down," and he says, "Oh, that'd be a problem as we just moved in." And then
he's basically a kid, isn't he? He's like, "Yeah, this is just fun. Like, we're having fun until your mum gets back." Like, classic dad.
We'll keep it going. And then I think it's funny when they say, "Oh, Granny just got carried away again with the shoe." Like, what else has Granny done that they're just like, "Oh, Granny."
Classic Granny. Yeah. And then it's still someone's shoe, right? Like, there's still it could be anything. It's not like completely unjustified. And everyone's like, "Oh god, yeah." Everyone go back to work. You know, there's still a missing child. Yeah, don't worry about that. Granny's gone crazy.
How about you? There was that you liked?
Yeah, there were some funny old lines in this. When they arrive at the house and they're playing around with the like the awning outside, or like the almost like the wood on the framing.
Veranda.
And veranda, that's the one. And they just say, "Oh, look, it's rotten," and then just start pushing it and laughing as if it's about to fall down. And I was like, that was quite funny. It's a nice moment. The bit when her sister arrives at school and she just says, "My sister is here," and then everyone rushes to the window to look out as if they're like, "We've never seen a sister before. Who is this person?"
But that is what would happen as kids. Like, just anything novelty at school, you'd be like, "Oh my goodness, that's her sister. Oh, well, what's going on? It must be something going on."
And then when she sits in the class, that was hilarious. And everyone's like, "Ooh, who's this?" And then when the gran says they're talking about, "Oh no, it's Cantor's mum." I think it's Cantor's mum, yeah. And the girls come back to hand the umbrella back, and they went, "Oh, thanks. He let us see his umbrella. It was pouring down." And she said, "Oh yeah, it's good. Cantor is such a dirty kid. He can always do with a good drenching." That's the badder times of the 80s. Yeah.
I also liked when Cantor was like peeking out, looking at May and Sesky going back, and then Gurney comes and like, "Who was that?" And Cantor's just like, "Beats me." That's really funny.
I presume that Cantor was the person that you thought you most resembled, Kev.
Well, I mean, I wanted to be Cat Bus, really. That's all. That's who I was going for. I was just thinking, how good would it be to be able to get around anywhere that quickly? And then you're constantly smiling. I did wonder if Cantor was a fair representation of 2005 Andy. That was all. I wasn't sure about that. We need to check with Tiff on that to find out on that.
I mean, just not being able to speak at all.
Yeah, exactly. I remember these days. What about you two? Who the character that you thought you were most like, or the one that you wanted to be?
May. No, Sasky.
May for you. Ooh,
No, it was Sasky.
Yeah.
My favorite character was May, but I thought I was most like Sasky.
Nice.
I actually had that first Totoro that she sees. He thinks he's invisible, but isn't.
Is this like the Emperor's Clothes? Have you been caught out?
I love that book. It's really funny. He's like walking around in his underwear, la 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 la. Oh, look at my clothes, they're invisible because I haven't got any on.
Yeah, that's a good book.
That's not what I do, though.
Well,
that's not why I like that first Totoro. I just think his face is really funny.
Yeah.
So going on to the reviews. Funnily enough, quite a few people agreed with you in a negative way as well.
About the
some people said not as good as Howl's Moving Castle, more childish.
I agree, except I haven't watched Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, so how do you know if it's not as good as Howl's Moving Castle?
Because I think the covers, the Totoro looks more childish, and I usually base stuff on covers. I was a bit disappointed that they didn't actually go fishing with Totoro.
Yes, that's right. It's on the front cover there, fishing, and then that never happens.
I think
that must be like a.
I think the front cover should have been, when they're like trying to grow the trees, the acorn trees, and they're all like
reaching to the stars,
and then like stretching.
Yeah, that would have been much better. You're right. Maybe there'll be a sequel where they just go out on a fishing trip for a day. They just hang out, catch fish. That would be good.
They had another one. I was hoping to get a great fairy tale like story with a touch of darkness, but this story was much more childish, and I was a bit disappointed. No, I'm not sure that it's the film's fault if you think it's a different film.
Is that a common thing for the Studio Ghibli films then? Are they more on the darker side normally? Is that why that person sort of anticipated it?
I think that this is the most childlike, has to be said. The others have a little bit more grown up and have a little more sort of adult themes in them and some sort of scarier parts. Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle, probably in particular.
Okay, interesting.
But it's just funny that it's like, well, this isn't the film I thought it was, so I will only give it 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then a really good 3-star review. It's a great epic movie, but just because it's epic and a classic doesn't necessarily mean it can please everyone. My Neighbor Totoro is not really a story for a movie. It's more like an experience of yours or others' childhood that we might recognize. But how Miyazaki-san makes this experience to life is amazing. The animation is beautiful and feels so real, even if it's fiction character like Totoro. But Totoro feels so real as a story. It's a little bit slow, but the animation is beautiful.
Oh, I think they lost it at the end. They were doing so well with that review, and those final 2 lines, they're like, oh, I'm just filling up characters here. I need to get to 1,000 characters.
I think it had been translated out of whatever language it was into English.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good review. I think that's a good summation, isn't it? That it is just a different type of film, and yeah, you just have to accept that that's what it is. And yeah, it's a bit more, bit more childish, but yeah, it is what it is, and I think that's a fair point. It takes you back to your childhood and reminds you of those.
Yeah,
what the films I struggle with this because I haven't really seen any anime films, so this was very difficult for me. I could only think of Kubo, and that's not really the same. So I basically had nothing. So I've definitely lost to the algo on this.
Well, it's funny you say that because they came up with Red, the Disney movie.
Oh, the Disney
Chinese
movie.
One. Yeah.
Interesting.
That just
really?
came out.
Is that the
And Coraline. Do you think this film is like If?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because of the character?
There's always a girl, girls or a girl who meets like a magical character. They both have that.
Okay, there we go.
And so, like one of their parents is ill. They also both have that.
Yeah.
And is the dad quite fun, like the dad in this? I guess
the dad's the one that's ill.
Okay.
I'm not sure when it's done.
Yeah, I think maybe the mum's
spoiler central for If, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to watch this film now.
But the If is in real life, isn't it? It's not animation.
Well, the ifs are kind of animation.
The imaginary friends. Yeah.
Like how isn't the invisible one called like Kev or something?
There should be. There definitely should be one called Kev.
I think it is.
Yeah. You know that you two are the only people that can see me. No one else sees me.
It's just you're a figment of my imagination to do a podcast
exactly.
with. Yeah, this in Fight Club. We'll discuss this.
Oh dear.
So given to the algo then, based on Poppy agreeing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess definitely I was nowhere near. So there we go. So what does that mean? The scores must be getting. They've got a couple, haven't they? Now we can't let them get on a run.
Yeah, so that is 22-17. Still to us, but that's because last week's didn't get a score.
Yeah, too close that one. So so it is on the list. Is it going up the list? Is it coming down the list? Where's it going?
I thought because number 60 is available, I would just move it one down. Not necessarily because I thought it wasn't as good as I remember it, because I remember it very well, but just to put it in at one of those 10 slots. I think it's I think it's such a brilliant movie to show your kid and to be able to watch with your kid. It was actually, we forgot to say before we watched it, but it was the first film that Poppy watched at a cinema. We went on her 3rd birthday and watched it in the Picture House Central in London. So so this was the first film that Poppy watched at the cinema.
Wow, that's impressive. It's a good opener. Maybe that's why you guys have such good positive memories on it as well.
Yeah. But no, it's such a lovely movie, and nothing to scare any kids. Lots going on. Good message. Yeah. So I would say this should be one of the first movies that you show your kids.
Yeah, you're right. So it's very happy, and some wise people have said whimsical. I don't know who that was, but That should be on the DVD cover.
Where did you put it then? Because I imagine that you sort of came to it thinking, I mean, a bit like Kubo, that it was an animation, but it was going to be a bit more grown up.
Yes, I didn't really think that it would be. Yeah, it was not childish. I don't think that's a fair word to use because that gives you the wrong connotations. But childlike, I guess, is more a better description. So yeah, I didn't think it'd be like that. But then I didn't mind it. You know, I actually went with the flow on this. This felt nice. When I compare this to something like The Fall, which obviously are very different films, but The Fall is the case.
The Algo did not have those.
That didn't come up. That was my backup. I think with The Fall, that's a similar thing in a way that it's a disjointed film just come together through random things, and this is similar in style to that. But this one, because it is that childlike version, I think it's just it really almost shows you just what a child's mind is like. Whereas I think The Fall just didn't really capture it enough for me. I think we discussed that. So I did like it. So I put it in the good section, and it was 19th of 42. So just above Neverending Stories, and just below Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship.
Nice. So that means that we're at 50% of films in the good section.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've had a bad film.
Do you know what? And weirdly, I think, was it Empire of the Sun? Which we both thought that would never be in the bad section. Yeah. It's crazy to think, isn't it? I mean, just never know what's going to happen on this podcast. Anything could be going on.
That's 14 weeks ago.
Wow. You're on a good run. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah. No, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, that is good. 50%, and hopefully that'll just keep continuing. We'll see. I feel like round the corner there's always something. You never know.
Well, theoretically, all of them are better than this film now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in theory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's great. Well, thank you, Poppy, for joining us in the shop and watching the film. Before the film, you sort of said that you didn't really remember it and you didn't really like it. And now you've watched 3 times and it's one of your favorite animated films. So that was useful.
It is.
It is your favorite film?
I know, right? I think it's my favorite film of the films that I can remember that are animated.
Cool.
Very good.
Favorite animated film. Okay, you're going to say goodbye to Kev?
Why?
You're going to say bye to the listeners?
Bye.
Thank you very much. Yeah, next week we have the classic quote. Do you have deja vu? I don't think so, but I can ask in the kitchen. You can find us on Instagram as ever, long play video, for a sneak peek of what's coming out this week. Thanks to Tom Miller for the theme song, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.